There was a lot of things going through my mind during the first week. First of all, it's hard. Not eating any processed carbs brought a lot of things to my attention. First off, I'm sort of addicted to them because they're convenient and they taste really great. I also noticed that I had this strange psychological attachment to them and it was really hard to give it up.
In the first week, I felt like I couldn't get full no matter how much I ate. I just kept eating and eating and eating, and I still didn't feel like I was full because I think I was so addicted to carbohydrates.
During the first week, I wanted bread a lot. It was hard to feel full. I didn't have a lot of cravings other than toast, which is something I eat a lot.
I had cravings like for milk and dairy and also for carbs.
The one difference that I did notice was the amount of preparation that goes into this diet. You really have to plan out what you're going to eat throughout the day and even throughout the next few days.
There were a couple times that I really wanted to cheat and eat something other than just vegetables and meat, so that was kind of hard.
Another thing that I noticed during the first week was that I was really looking forward to eating out on Friday, my self-proclaimed Grace Day, where I got to dominate Cafe Mexicali. During this first week, I was very reliant on my drive and sort of self-induced guilt. I really wanted to do this diet without any slip-ups, so I put a lot of pressure on myself, both personally and for my group mates who were also participating. Through this guilt/personal pressure, I did a fairly good job. My slip-ups were small, like eating a few beans or drinking a protein shake when I was pressed for time. Save for my Grace Day, I stayed on track pretty well and I felt like I successfully performed the diet.
One really difficult situation was breakfast, because in the morning, as a college student, you really don't have a whole lot of time having to think about what you're going to eat and then also think about whether that food meets a certain set of criteria is just another extra. It takes a lot more time in the morning.
My friends would always go out to eat, and it was really hard to eat out and eat the way you were supposed to when you were out at a restaurant because you wanted to order what you wanted. I babysit for my cousin, and when I was going over to her house, there was not the natural foods that I had at my house, and so there was nothing I could eat there.
It was pretty hard to eat out. I mean, if you're going to go and have a burrito or a pizza or anything, none of those foods fit in this diet, so going out to eat at restaurants was difficult.
I had to learn how to cook for myself more proficiently. I can't just add cheese to things to make it taste better, so for once I actually had to know what I was doing or suffer a nasty meal. I realized that I have to allot a lot of extra time in my schedule to cook these foods. For example, for breakfast you can't pour yourself a bowl of cereal, so instead you have to cook your eggs and make sure you have fresh fruit in the morning.
It was also a lot more expensive. I had to buy mainly produce, and it is a lot more expensive than other foods.
When I was trying this diet, I was taunted a lot by my roommates. They would eat hot quesadillas in front of me just to egg me on. Their playful teasing kind of made me feel like a trendy hippie with this preppy sort of stigma. It was all fun and games, but it certainly didn't help with the challenge.
The biggest difference I noticed when I ate the paleo diet was that I was never tired. I normally want to nap a lot, and I felt like napping was never needed when I was eating better.
I noticed I wasn't as tired as I normally was. I naturally woke up earlier than I ever have before.
I had a lot more energy. I felt great. And I never really felt that hungry like I thought I would.
After the second week, I got into a routine and my cravings for processed carbs dropped off almost completely. I also felt comfortable with my eating habits and I noticed that I had a lot more energy consistently throughout the day. I felt healthy. After a long day, I had less headaches and fatigue. I also slimmed down, which is great since you're never really hungry on this diet. You simply eat whenever you're hungry and the rules of eating paleo are pretty simple.
When I was flying home for Thanksgiving break, the snacks they gave us on the airplane were a bag of peanuts and a bag of crackers, which I read the ingredients on it, and the first ingredient was bleached flour. And I was quite hungry at the time, so I ate them, and I definitely noticed, not having eaten any, refined grain for 2 weeks or so, that I felt very different afterwards, even a little bit nauseous and kind of queasy. It went away after maybe a half an hour, but that was quite an effect that the non-paleo food had on me.
I cheated a few times with my friends when they went out to eat, and I noticed that the food tasted a lot saltier, and my body was a lot more sensitive to the foods that I ate.
When I cheated and ate things that I wasn't supposed to, I felt incredibly sick. One time I had rice-a-roni that was a cheesy type, and I wanted to throw up after eating it. I felt so sick. You don't realize how bad processed food makes you feel until you stop eating it and then eat it again. So fast food, I don't eat fast food typically, but anything from restaurants that wasn't like handmade and stuff, they all made me feel really sick, and I would crave salads and things like that.
My concept of food has changed significantly. I've realized that heavily processed foods are not only really bad for you, but they're completely unnecessary in your diet. Also, processed and fatty foods really aren't that amazing. I felt sick and sluggish after eating them, and when compared to something like an apple, they're not even that appealing once you've broken like any unnecessary habits or like dependencies on food like that. There are several reasons that many people might find it difficult to adopt as a diet. First of all, it's logistically and psychologically challenging. It's also expensive and not as convenient. This diet also has a strange sort of preppy stigma to it, like only rich people can eat healthy. American eating culture is also counterproductive to eating paleo. We can't seem to escape processed agricultural food in our society.
After trying the paleo diet for a couple weeks, I can definitely see why it's not more popular. A lot of the food takes a long time to prepare, and honestly, not my opinion, but I could understand how a lot of people could consider the paleo food quite bland. A lot of it does not have much salt or sugar, which are two ingredients that much of America unfortunately relies on for taste in their food. However, as a diabetic, I found this diet very beneficial. A lot of the carbohydrates that are included in the paleo diet are easy to manage with your blood sugar, as opposed to breads and a lot of dairy products that are not included in the paleo diet. I would definitely recommend the paleo diet to another diabetic who is having trouble controlling their blood sugar after meals, because I found it very easy. A lot of the meals that I ate were low in carbohydrates or had no carbohydrates, and the control of my disease was noticeably easier.
Eating healthier is definitely becoming more and more important in our society. After following this diet, I understand just how crucial healthy eating is to your physical and mental well-being. And having an eating disorder and not obtaining an adequate diet will affect one's health negatively, just like the diet positively affected mine. I will try to continue to follow this diet because I know and realize how important eating healthy can be.
Nutrition is becoming a major issue in this country and the world. The paleo diet and other diets that do not include processed food are the healthiest in my opinion. I believe personally a modified paleo diet is how I should and will continue to eat for years to come. The paleo diet also ties into alternative medicine, since diet adjustments are a huge part of complementary medicine. The majority of diseases and health issues has a root in nutrition, and it is important for everyone to eat more like how our bodies were designed to eat.
I would definitely continue the paleo diet, although with some small exceptions for things like condiments and the occasional dairy product. I think that the paleo diet could really help a lot of people become more aware of the effect that your diet has on your health and how you feel, which is something that could be very beneficial to our society in general. If more people were more conscious of what they consume and how it actually affects their body, I think the American lifestyle would be quite different.
When commenting on the difficulties of this diet, I find it both astounding and sad that it's difficult to eat like an uncivilized caveman. This should be easy for our advanced society. Instead, I can't eat out from a lack of menu choice. I can't shop the center aisles in my grocery store unless I'm looking for nuts or a healthy marinade. There also shouldn't be this preppy stigma. Eating healthy is for everyone, and this needless association sort of looks like a cop-out to me. This basic yet intelligent diet should be taken more seriously, especially in light of serious topics like diabetes, obesity, and killers like cancer and heart disease. This has been a wake-up call for me, and what began as a social experiment for my computation class is now turning into an enlightening and powerful lifestyle change. Who would have thought that acting like a caveman would be one of the most intelligent decisions I've made?